What's up, high school? So glad you are all on our Zoom calls tonight. And we're in this new series called Happy Easter. And no matter how you grew up celebrating, or if you grew up celebrating, you'd probably agree that for the most part, Easter is a happy time. And during this series, we'll talk about not only what we celebrate at Easter, but why that can and should make us happy. But before we get there, let's talk about this last one for a second. Let's talk about the Easter bunny. This idea of a huge bunny, it seems like a strange tradition for a holiday. In fact, I want you to check out these pictures. I kind of agree with the kid who thinks this is terrifying. Even though your family's probably not going to make you dress up and sit with an Easter bunny, a giant Easter bunny this Easter, I think we all know the feeling of, well, being scared like that kid with the Easter bunny. And fear takes away our happiness so fast. And I know that we all have felt fear at some point in our lives. This fear, it wrecks our peace. Fear, it wrecks our happiness. And maybe as a kid, it's being scared of the dark, or being scared of spiders, or like me, snakes. As we get older, our fears, they don't go away. They just kind of grow up with us. Maybe we don't call it fear. Maybe we call it stress, or being anxious, or maybe just being worried. Whatever your particular fear is, you don't need me to tell you that it's very real to you. The reality is that fear is on the rise. In fact, chances are good that right now, fear is determining the direction of a lot of our lives. You see, Paul, he's one of the most famous Christians of all time. He started by scaring Christians into leaving their faith. But then he met Jesus. And after meeting Jesus, his life is crazy. He was shipwrecked. He was put in prison. He was beaten. He was bitten by a poisonous snake. But he kept going because he was passionate about his faith. Listen to what our friends over at Orange have to say about it.
Of that, Paul seemed to live without fear of death. And in one of Paul's letters, we can see why. Paul writes his letter to a church in an ancient city called Corinth. He reminds people that Jesus died and came back to life by his own power 3 days later. Just listen to what Paul writes. Death is swallowed up in victory. Oh, death, where is your victory? Oh, death, where is your sting?
See, Paul is reminding us that when Jesus died and rose from the grave, in fact, he defeated the grave. He defeated death. And when he defeated death, that means death can no longer defeat us. Because of Jesus' death, we no longer have to fear any kind of death, because Jesus defeated it once and for all. In other words, Easter means fear isn't final.